I want to turn briefly to the last 4 days of the Platinum Jubilee, Sharon, because aside from Boris Johnson being booed, which may well have been a tipping point for many MPs to press the button on him today with this no confidence, it was also interesting to me that the Sussexes got booed. Harry and Meghan, what did you make of that?
Well, it wasn't a total boo.
Wasn't as big as Boris?
No, nowhere near.
But very unusual for a member of the royal family to get any booing at that kind of event.
Yes,
and they did.
But it wasn't anywhere near as bad as Boris. You could still hear the cheers above the boos, put it that way.
I mean, should we read much into it? I just got the feeling they basically discovered on this particular trip that they've gone from A-list royals to C-list.
What do you mean by that?
And that's how the royal family are now going to treat them. They won't be on the balcony, they won't be at the top events, and they can come and go if they want, but they're no longer going to be working A-list important royals.
No. Come on now, dog.
No, they have lost their importance. They don't mean anything. The country wasn't that overjoyed. I didn't hear many people go, this is amazing.
I don't think the country really cares very much.
They didn't. And the thing that I must say is the country didn't react one way or the other. It was, oh, they're here, okay. But...
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
The way they kind of came in and went was a huge signal that I don't think we'll see them here much at all.
And what made me laugh, Isabel, was they arrived on a massive private jet from California, these two eco-warriors.
Whose was it,
constantly preach. Well, it'll be... I mean,
it'll come out.
They've used Elton's a lot, they've used the Clooneys a lot, who knows, somebody, right? But it's the utter hypocrisy, once again, preaching about carbon footprint, always using private jets.
Same every time, same.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
And funny enough, it's the common link between all the people who got booed was hypocrisy. The British public will forgive a lot of things, but they won't forgive brazen hypocrisy.
Yeah, right.
To be fair on them, they did actually keep a relatively low profile, didn't they?
They
and,
did.
you know, you said they discovered their C list. I mean, they asked to be taken off the list. You know, they wanted to be out of the working circulation. So I think it could have gone worse. You know, I don't think they overshadowed it.
No question.
Of course,
they didn't.
No. People took pictures of them, but they did behave quite well.
Okay.
There was no impact. It made no impact.
I just want to play a clip, first of all, of this is the Queen on the closing moments of the Platinum Jubilee on Sunday, because we weren't sure if she'd even make it. She was there at the start. I was by the palace when she came out on the Thursday. It was an amazing moment. And then she just sort of vanished from sight. And we thought that maybe we wouldn't see her again. And then you suddenly saw the flag moving on the palace roof and you realised, fantastic. And then you thought, go on, out you come.
That doesn't make sense.
And out came the star of the show, the star of any show she's ever at. And she came out, and I just thought, if we can listen to a bit of the sound here, I just thought this was so moving.
It gives you goosebumps.
It really does.
You don't know.
Boring. That was a scene, and then, of course, the crowd had burst into God Save the Queen, which was incredibly evocative and emotional, I felt. Fact. Isabel, I mean, it's hard to overstate the importance of this Queen to this country or the impact that we're going to have when she's no longer here.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm not a massive monarchist, but I found the whole thing weirdly moving. And it is, because it sort of feels like it's a bit of a goodbye. I know that sounds a little bit mawkish.
Well, it's the last Jubilee that we'll be able to have for her.
In reality, she is not well. We know that.
Yeah.
And, you know, when the palace says she's experiencing some discomfort, we know that really means she's in a very great deal of pain.
Are you sure about that?
And I think when she does sadly pass, there is going to be a huge amount of national soul searching.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, she has held everything together,
Yes.
Real concerns about the future of the Union and the Commonwealth.
I totally agree. Grace, I know you're not a massive monarchist. In fact, you spent most of the weekend, according to your Instagram feed, at a wild festival where you were painting your fingernails fluorescent green.
What do you mean by that?
You're not a fan, Piers.
Which I thought was a tribute to what the Queen wore, actually, on the Sunday night.
Yes,
but
yeah, I was
clearly I
informed ahead of
misjudged
time
you.
and coordinated.
But even as somebody who's not that into the monarchy, can you appreciate what this woman has done for the country?
I have basically no opinions about them as people. I don't really follow, you know, the ins and outs of the monarchy. I don't think I should have to follow what goes on within this family, this dynasty that kind of rules our country from behind the scenes.
What?
What I do think, though, is that when the Queen does sadly die, we will enter into a national conversation about whether or not this is an institution that we should have as part of our, you know, constitution, as part of the way that our country works. It is very strange that we have a family whose, you know, marriages, weddings, births, dramas, we're all constantly invested in understanding as though they're kind of Kardashians or something.
Right.
That they're in charge of our politics, of our government. Ultimately, this is our head of state. I think that when the Queen, who everyone, you know, loves and who's been in charge for a very long time, does go, and we have this array of pretty uninspiring potential successors, people are going to start thinking, is this what we really want?
Right. You are missing, in my view, the rising superstar of the royal family, and it's this little guy.
He is.
Louis.
He's amazing.
Whose facial expressions over the 4 days got increasingly hilarious. And who clearly began to seize his moment. And in fact, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge issued a statement tonight on Twitter thanking everybody and saying that we all had a fantastic time, especially Louis.
That doesn't make sense.
Don't you think, though, that it gave people confidence that this is the family that will be here after the Queen is no longer here?
And by the way, very deliberately, that last scene on the last night, and everyone was singing God Save the Queen, but she had chosen for that.
Are you sure about that?
Sort of iconic moment of the end
That
of the
last
Jubilee.
picture.
That this was the family this is now the streamlined
That's the way it's gonna
royals.
be.
These are the two next monarchs, potentially three next monarchs, and that's the way it will be.
But Charles has said for a long time that he's going to cut down the people who are actually on payroll and that represent the family. It's going to be cold. And the thing is, I think that the royal family brings so much to this country.
Fact.
I mean, you look at all the people from all over
tourists.
the world.
I mean, I think
the tourism,
they don't actually cost us anything.
the merchandise
the great myth
that
is
was
they cost us
sold.
money.
I think if we were going to make a kind of coherent economic argument as to how we construct our head of state, we could probably make a better one for saying, I don't know, have a presidential system or have
What, and
some
get our
sort
own version of Joe Biden?
Nice.
Well, I mean, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be the same as that. You would have
just putting it out
head
there.
of state.
I think I'd rather have
he
the
would
Queen.
just be responsible for kind
I
of.
think I'd rather have the Queen.
The thing is, Lee, the mainstream media was so ridiculous when it came to the Nigerian tour. I do not know what's happened to, for example, my former employer, the Daily Mail, that was saying things like, wow, this tour shows how Meghan now has a path to the White House.
What?
Like, are they crazy? Most people looked at that Nigerian tour and thought it was a complete disaster. She was dressed inappropriately and ended up being criticised by the country's First Lady. Lots of people thought actually her whole shtick over there was completely inappropriate and a little bit embarrassing. So why is the media so desperate to keep talking Harry and Meghan up as if they're a success, when quite clearly we can see with our own eyes that these sorts of tours are not proving a success?
Good question.
Well, as we know, Dan, the media have an agenda, certainly the mainstream media in my country, with the New York Times that I affectionately refer to as the New York Slimes. And,
like that.
You know, they certainly don't have an America First agenda. And by that, I don't mean necessarily tied to President Trump.
Okay.
They don't put our nation first. And therefore, the Sussexes' narratives, which are certainly more on the progressive left, you know, embracing of all cultures and social justice warriors and what have you, fit more fit like a glove with a lot of the media's narratives, so they embraced them. And might I add, you mentioned a minute ago Meghan's political ambitions.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's absolutely staggering that we have, as a presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, who, until 2 minutes ago, even the Democrats didn't think could win in a game of hopscotch.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
And here we are now. Everyone's thrown their weight behind her. So this can happen in the United
She's like a cross between JFK and Barack Obama and Margaret Thatcher, if you were to believe the ludicrous American mainstream media.
What the hell?
Yeah, this one's really personal, but the fellas watching, I know you're going to get it. And as I always say, ladies, buy this for your husband or boyfriend because it is a game changer.
Is he all right upstairs?
So, men, let me tell you, want grooming to be a one and done deal. And the days, thank God, of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over, thanks to our friends at Manscaped.
What is he doing?
They've come up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing, and I have it right here, the Beard and Balls Bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Look at how beautifully packaged it is. I've actually bought these for someone because it's such a good product.
Shut up, bro.
And the Beard Hedger as well. But it's not the type of lawnmower that you might be thinking of, like that one. But this product provides precision trimming for all areas, even the sensitive ones, that will get you manicured.
What do you mean by that?
As good as freshly cut grass. So I'm talking about a trimmer for the moneymaker, another for the boys downstairs, and the trimmer gets it right the first time, being gentle on the skin in all your delicate places. With 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, you can choose between a precise trim or a smooth finish. And did I mention it's waterproof, so you can trim in the shower and avoid a mess everywhere.
That doesn't make sense.
Now, the Beard Hedger is brilliant too, whether you're going for a neat stubble or a full-on lumberjack. Look, it has you covered because it features a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade and 20 length options via the Zoom wheel. Just like the lawnmower, the Beard Hedger is also waterproof, which means you can handle your beard grooming in the sink or the shower without worrying about water damage. It has 60 minutes of runtime, an LED charge indicator, and you'll never be caught mid-trim as a result.
Nice.
This is a gentle product too. You're not going to be cut. And actually, Mark, trust me on this, it will increase your confidence, this product. Brilliant thing is, we have such a good deal today. 20% off and free shipping. What you have to do is go to www.manscaped.com and use the code OUTSPOKEN. So when you put all of your things into your shopping bag, at the end of the experience, type in Outspoken, and my goodness, the money just comes off. It's so good. No more juggling multiple tools or dealing with subpar results, just efficient, effective grooming wherever you need it for the premium grooming experience. Trust Manscaped. Lee, is there any truth to these suggestions that Harry and Meghan might have planned this Colombia trip to try and take away attention from what Prince William is doing with Earthshot Week in Cape Town?
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
Well, we can't know for sure, but the timing could be suspect to do that. And not only that, their track record of doing this, of planning headline-stealing events that coincide with other royal events to steal the thunder, certainly is something that we can't put past the Sussexes. All of their moves are choreographed, and everything has a motive.
Are you sure about that?
So I would say it's well within the realm of possibility.
Because the thing is, they are desperate to try and make Earthshot because it's William's big project, but obviously ably supported by Catherine, although possibly a little bit less this year for obvious reasons, given she's undergoing treatment for her cancer still. But it really does feel like they're desperate to somehow crash Earthshot. They do not want William to be a success, given that William has really focused a lot of the attention with Earthshot on the US market, which Harry and Meghan feel that they own in some way now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's desperately sad.
Okay.
This couple, the Sussexes, that is to say, they're always on the dark side, and that's very unappealing, I think, to a lot of Americans. We're a sunny nation of optimists.
Yeah, right.
And we're always getting lectures from them. And then instead of being a good sportsman about this, simply going off about his business, Harry has to resort to things like this interference with headlines and putting up a competitive event to try to take away from the activities of his brother.
What?
And,
and it's all the time, Lee. That's what's so pathetic. It's so transparent. Like, even the other day, because there was so much goodwill towards the lovely picture that Catherine had released on George's 11th birthday, and she'd taken it herself, and it was really great. So Harry immediately decided, I'm going to have to announce that the Invictus Games are coming to Birmingham.
Boy.
And they knew that it was George's birthday. So that's the thing. I do believe now this is a deliberate strategy to constantly try and undermine William and Catherine. And I believe, Lee, I don't know about you, but I believe it's all anchored in jealousy, actually. Harry and Meghan are just so jealous.
You got me.
of William and Catherine, and also their ongoing success, because you know better than me, Lee, but actually, aren't they more popular in America now, William and Catherine, than Harry and Meghan? Americans seem to be turning on the Sussexes.
They are indeed more popular, and that's interesting that foreign-born royals, the Prince and Princess of Wales, completely eclipse the popularity of the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex, who are the closest thing we have to royalty in the United States.
Nice.
But something else that you've just said that I want to respond to, Dan, is that it's pure jealousy, and Harry, having been the spare, I suppose, was brought up not to always get his way because there was someone else that superseded him.
Fact.
However, this is not the case with Meghan Markle, who's a complete ambitious narcissist. She is used to getting her way, and that's why she was such a poor fit for the royal family, because she couldn't do it her way. There were things above her, more important than her. There was a cause.
Sometimes it's not about you, Meghan. Just every
right.
now and then. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.